Hello, my name is Callan, and this is how I accidentally became a state champion.
His first track season, his first state title, and his school's first ever state champion. Callan Lisson is not only a rookie track star, but he's a triple threat in the world of athletics, playing basketball and running cross country as well. But this is also his first year on the track. Callan hopes that he was able to put on a display that small schools can do anything.
The year was 2021. The COVID pandemic had subsided, and my senior year of high school was coming to a close. With just a few months left of school, I decided to pick up a new sport, track and field. With my cross-country training and my basketball season recently ended, I decided to try and end my high school career with a bang. April 27th, Webster, Wisconsin. It was cold and cloudy with a little bit of rain. Great way to start the first meet. With no previous recorded times, I was put in the slowest heat. I was the only kid wearing a sweatshirt when I ran, but it didn't matter. I dominated both my heats in the 400 and 200 meter dash. I ended up finishing second in the 400 with a time of 56.69 and first in the 200 with a time of 23.69. With a win under my belt and the ability to use spikes at the next meet, the thought of setting a new PR raced in my head. My second meet took place at Northwestern High School in Maple, Wisconsin, just 3 days after the last meet. I PR'd in the 400 with a time of 52.70 and in the 200 with a time of 23.64. With these two wins against some of my best competition for the season, I knew I had a chance of making it to sectionals later this season. The Division III state rankings had released, and I was shocked to find myself in 5th for the 200 and 1st in the 400 for my first ever track season. My next meet took place in Ironwood, Michigan, which has the worst track I had ever seen. It was slightly bigger than an indoor track with solid pavement for the surface. I ended up first in the 400 with a time of 55.48 and third in the 200 running at 26.28. Unable to use blocks properly hurt my time dramatically in the 200, but I also found one of my toughest competitors there who I will try and get revenge on at the next meet I come across him at.
Come on, Austin! Come on, Austin! Come on, Austin! Come on, Austin! Come on, go! Go!
Go, Cal, push! That's it, push, 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 push!
The previous video took place at Bruce, where I took first in the 400 and first in the 200. I then ran at Drummond, Clear Lake, and Ironwood again, where I dove for the finish against a competitor who beat me previously. Clear Lake was the only place I ran a good time at with a 52.76 in the 400 and 23.76 in the 200. However, I managed to place first in both of my events at those three schools. This also all took place right before graduation. The next race was for the conference championship at Hurley, where I got first in both events with times of 54.87 and 24.29, making myself a double conference champion. The next race would take place at Ashland, Wisconsin, which would contain new and better competition facing off against D1 and D2 schools, also known as Division I and Division II schools. The tougher competition helped me improve my times with a 52.10 in the 400 and a 23.57 in the 200, netting me first and third respectively. Regionals were here, and I was running at Chequamegon High School in Park Falls, Wisconsin. Here would decide if I made it to sectionals or not. I ran a 52.61 in the 400 and a 23.85 in the 200, getting me to first place for both events, sweeping the regionals. I completed my goal of making it to sectionals, but with just a quarter mile to make it to state, I knew I had a chance to go to state in 2 events. Sectionals was held at Cameron, Wisconsin, which has a beautiful track and grandstand, which I was slightly familiar with from my previous cross-country seasons. I ended up finishing second in the 400, running a 52.21, and fourth in the 200, running a 23.64 in the finals and a 23.28 in prelims, making a new PR. Top 4 and finals make it to state, so I had just made it for both events. With state on the horizon, I trained hard to do anything to improve my speed. My teammates and coaches all trained with me to keep me encouraged and on track to set a new PR. If I could just podium, I would have made school history, so that was my goal. Arriving early the morning of state, it was already well into the 80-degree mark, with high humidity and wind that felt like a heater on a school bus. I knew it would be a tough day to run. My 200-meter prelim was coming up, so I did my normal warm-up and was constantly sipping water to stay hydrated. As we lined up to the staging lanes, my nerves were at an all-time high. After getting to my blocks, I did a few runouts and could tell I was a bit sore, but I tried not to let it bother me. We got set and the gun fired, and I messed up my launch, causing me to fall behind the rest of my heat. I crossed the finish line with a time of 23.64. I didn't get down on myself. I knew I had a while before the 400 in order to get my body properly warmed up and ready. Coming from a D5 school, we didn't have fancy tents like other schools. I sat down in a lawn chair with my coach, holding an umbrella over my head to keep me out of the harsh sun. I took a quick power nap and ate some small food, I think a banana and a granola bar, and sipped on a Body Armor Gold Berry flavored. The time was coming soon, and I knew what I had to do. I did 6 of my normal warm-ups and a solid 20 minutes of stretching to make sure I was ready for the main event. My heat got called up, and we jogged down the 100-meter to the finish. With thousands of people cheering us on, I felt like a gladiator getting ready for battle. I said good luck to the other runners and got set on my blocks. I had one goal, to sprint the entire 400 meters. No pacing, no letting up. I thought if I could do this, I could podium. I'll let the video speak for me.
Well, we have 7 running events left and a couple field events still out.
Based on the qualifying times, Konzemius figures to get more team points here. He had the second fastest seed time at 50.73. Dickinson, as you said, 50.55. Off we go at the second section of the 400. Dan Peterson of Brookwood, it seems to have made up a good part of the stagger. Peterson running in lane 4. Around the turn they come. Peterson from Brookwood showing the way. Listen from Solon Springs trying to make a run of it. Hey, look at that runner in lane 8. Listen from Solon Springs trying to hang on. And Listen crosses first. Kaylin Listen, 50.24, 52.4 for Kaylin Listen. So all eyes are usually on the middle of the track, but Listen comes out of lane 8 and wins the state title.
He's a C.
I ran as fast as I could until the 200-meter mark, where I thought my feet were on fire, before kicking it back into gear and pulling away at the finish, hugging one of my buddies who was in the same section as I, and we couldn't hardly believe what had just happened.
And the champion of the boys 400-meter run, Kaylin Listen. Yeah!
Seeing my name on the screen go all the way to the top and all the pressure that I had felt removed as I became Solon Springs' first ever state champion. I had also set a PR with a time of 50.24, also running the fastest 400-meter dash that year for Division III.
Today, Thursday was solely Division III for Division III athletes, and this is a look at the boys 400-meter race. Solon Springs Northwood's Kaylin Listen won this race with a time of 50.24 seconds. This marks just the second year the co-op has had a track and field team, and they didn't have a season last year due to COVID. And he is also their first state champion and finished with the fastest D3 time this entire 2021 season. Check out that finish.
So, it was official. I was a state champion. I had made school history. I was on cloud 9. A huge thanks to all my friends and family who cheered me on from at state and at their homes. And a huge thanks to my coaches who let me freelance with our workouts and helped me improve drastically. I couldn't have done this without them, and I can guarantee that. I hope everyone goes out there and tries something new, because you never know what you might be good at. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any fun stories like this in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoyed. P.S. Here's a secret tip. I wore Patrick socks at every meet for good luck. I was in lane 8 at state. I won when most people thought I couldn't. Does that remind you of something?
In Northland, I had the privilege of witnessing the magical story unfold. A superstar erupts out of Solon Springs. Meet Callum Listen.
We're just here just to see what we can do and just prove that small schools can do anything.
A basketball player, a cross-country competitor, and now a rookie track star on a mission. Most would consider him to be a triple threat in the world of athletics, and most recently, Listen is recognized for the addition of a remarkable accomplishment to his resume.
Cherry on the cake, he went to state, and we were so thrilled his senior year going to state, and now he proved that he is a state champion.
A state champion, a phrase that Solon Springs High School has never heard of until now.
Feels amazing. It's so unreal. Like, it doesn't feel like any of it's real. It's like I just showed up and ran, and now I'm here, and it's weird. Like, it just flies by.
The unreal part of Listen's story isn't just about his historic title, but the road that led him to his historic victory.
Last year, I was like, I'm just going to do track because I don't play baseball or anything, so I'm like, I might as well just give it a shot and try it and just see how I do. And it sounds like fun. I knew I was decent at sprinting, and then I was like, I'll just sign up. And I signed up last year, but it never happened because of COVID. So then this year, I was like, all right, I got to do it, and just see what happens. And it ended up being great. So
a great season would be an understatement, as this was Listen's first track season ever, where he captured not only his first state title, but Solon Springs' first title in school history, wiping 2 whole seconds off of his PR in his final race. The Solon Springs track team has only been around for 3 years, with just 10 student athletes and a baseball field to practice on. The Eagles show there is no challenge too big for a small school.
It's just crazy how such a small school can do just these crazy things no one has ever expected.